Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, you know the guy who questioned the wisdom of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 when he was first running for office, finds himself at the center of yet another race-related controversy this week. Yesterday, the Washington Free Beacon published an article titled Rebel Yell, which detailed the previous career of Rand Paul's right-hand man, a guy by the name of Jack Hunter. He co-authored Rand Paul's first book. While working as a radio host in South Carolina, Hunter apparently appeared in public wearing a Confederate flag mask, openly called for secession, and defended the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. This is Rand Paul's wingman, right? He called himself the Southern Avenger. He was a chairman of the Charleston wing of the League of the South, a group which, according to its own website, quote, advocates the secession and subsequent independence of the Southern states from this forced union and the formation of a Southern Republic. Right. Rand Paul is trying to now separate himself from Hunter. That's going to be kind of hard because the Southern Avenger isn't just some random staffer on his Senate staff. He's a good buddy of Rand Paul's. He helped him write his first book, The Tea Party Goes to Washington, back in 2010. So it now looks like Senator Paul is continuing in a great family tradition. I mean, even though he denies responsibility, his father, Ron Paul, published a series of racist newsletters during a 1996 congressional campaign. And we really shouldn't be all that surprised by either Ron or Rand Paul's connection to far-right racism, and that's because they're libertarians. And libertarianism is the velvet glove over the iron fist of racism. Here's how it works. When you have an entrenched racial and economic class that has ruled a continent for 5 centuries, they have well established the levers and the levels of power and wealth. And they will, and do, generation after generation, do whatever is necessary to hang on to that wealth and power. History shows us this. I mean, you know, the history of Reconstruction, the whole history of integration in the 50s and 60s, that the only thing strong enough to challenge the political and economic power of a multi-century hereditary ruling class, particularly one based on race, is the power of government. It was government that made Alabama Governor George Wallace and Georgia Governor Lester Maddox integrate their states. It was government that both passed and made the South finally accept the 14th and 15th Amendments. Here's George Wallace in his inaugural address as governor of Alabama back in 1963.
I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
He was talking about was government, right? Federal government. But Wallace lost that fight because the power of government, when appropriately used, is greater than the power of wealth, class, or race. It took government to break the stranglehold of white rule in the 1870s and 1880s. But even that white power structure reasserted itself and fought to reclaim its power, leading to Plessy v. Ferguson in 1896, which set up a half century or more of segregation, legal apartheid right here in the United States, which kept into place the political and economic privileges of white people. So now along comes a political philosophy, libertarianism, that says everything is fine, everything's equal, the government should just get the hell out of the way. They say this when the median net worth of a white family in the United States is $110,700, and that of a black family is $4,000. They say this when in the entire history of the U.S. Senate, there have only been 3 African Americans elected to that body. They say this when just 20 minutes after the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the biggest and most populous state of the old Confederacy, Texas, immediately put into place discriminatory voter suppression laws and began gerrymandering. So in effect, when conservatives and libertarians say government should get out of the way, what they're really saying is, let's lock into place white political power, white wealth, and white privilege. Of course, not all libertarians think of themselves as racist, and most probably don't see how their get-rid-of-government policies prop up institutional bigotry. But the reality is that when you blast government as the root of all evil, when you neuter its power, you end up weakening the only thing that can keep the ruling elite, a racial ruling elite, in check. And when you do that, the rich and powerful race hangs on to their wealth and power, and the poorer minorities lose even more of what little they have. You know, in the end, it really doesn't matter whether Rand Paul agrees with Jack Hunter that the Confederacy was a good idea. He's trying to say, because by going on and on about states' rights and freedom from government tyranny, sort of like old George Wallace, Senator Rand Paul and his friends on the libertarian right make sure that the values of old Dixie and an entrenched racial elite and racial inequality continue in the United States. Libertarianism truly is the velvet glove of a nice-sounding freedom policy, a glove that covers the iron fist of 500 years of genocide and apartheid in the United States, that covers the iron fist of white privilege, that covers the iron fist that to this day continues of discrimination and repression, of suppression of rights, of suppression of voting rights, of suppression of economic rights. Libertarianism is the velvet glove over the iron fist of racism. I know there's all these young people, I'm a libertarian, it sounds so cool. Yeah, just think about what it means, though. 27 minutes past the hour.